This is a gory post-apocalyptic thrill ride of a zombie movie. It's certainly not for the faint-hearted, but horror fans will love it. As the film title says, it's set 28 weeks after a deadly virus that turns its victims into killer zombies has been unleashed. Robert Carlyle plays a father who survives the rage and is separated then reunited with his two children.
Can we see? God, I thought I'd never see you again.
Now, were you worried at all about taking on a sequel? What convinced you to do it?
Well, you're right. I mean, obviously, any sequel you've got to be kind of slightly concerned, particularly if the first one's been, you know, as successful as it was. But the most important thing, I suppose, is the source that it was coming from. And Danny Boyle, Andrew MacDonald, you know, friends and, you know, colleagues for years and years and years. I thought, well, there's no way these guys are going to just throw out a sequel willy-nilly to make money. So I was absolutely confirmed when I read the script. I thought this family element is exactly where this film should go now. So all these elements together convinced me it was going to be okay.
Because their names are associated with, they're synonymous with quality and storytelling as well.
Well, that's exactly right. I speak about Danny quite a lot about that. He's a wonderful, wonderful storyteller, and he throws up great premise, you know. And as he's done with this, and then of course Juan Carlos has taken it on to like another level, you know.
Help us!
It's frightening stuff, and there's a scene in the first sort of 10 minutes of the film where you're running away from them. And I was genuinely sitting at the back of the cinema going, hurry up, hurry up.
No, my wife was the same actually. She's like, hurry up, hurry up. Considering what had just happened, I thought it was a strange reaction. We were wanting to get caught. But that first 10 minutes, I think, is, again, it reminds me of the story that Spielberg told about Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom with the ball, you know. The first 10 minutes of that movie's got no relevance at all to the rest of it, but his point was that if people come and just watch the first 10 minutes, they'll get their money's worth.
And you're completely hooked as well.
I think the same thing applies with this. It's breathless, that first 10 minutes.
The other thing as well is that there's a sheer terror in the film. Why is it that we like to go into a closed environment in a darkened room and love to be terrified out of our wits?
That's a good question. It's a question that's come up a lot in the past week or so. I don't know. It can only be a primal thing because it is an entity for sure. There's nothing like getting into a cinema with 500 people and getting scared together. It must go back to your childhood, because I noticed that with my kids. They love getting scared, they love when you jump on them and frighten them, they love all that. So I think that we carry that with us through adulthood, you know, and that's our way of expressing that kind of release, is to go into a darkened room and have scary monsters to frighten us.
We're not going to be able to go back to our old house. It's outside the security zone, and anyway, I don't think I'd want to go back there, even if I could.
Because this film will obviously be global.
Yes.
And the first film was huge in America, but they've let you keep your Scottish accent.
Yes, indeed. I mean, you know, I think as the years have went by, I've kind of got away with it more and more. You know, early days, early doors, it wouldn't have happened. But I had to kind of establish myself a long time ago as being able to change this tone. But it seemed to me to try and the thing about Don is Don's a very emotional guy. And I thought, well, there's no point in layering this with anything else. Just be you. So it's actually as close to my own tone as I've actually played in years, I think.
Your mum and I were hiding in a house, just trying to stay alive, I suppose. We were doing okay for a while. And then we were attacked. I seen them biting.
And he's a father, and you're obviously a father now, and you know, in the last few years you've had
three kids. Three in the last 5 years, in fact. Yeah.
Does that change your perspective as an actor in your performance?
It does.
Do you just act, or, you know, they say writers write what they know, do you act what you know?
you can't. What you said there's, do you just act? And at the end of the day, that's kind of what it comes down to. Of course, you have to. But I mean, your own thoughts about your own love for your own children is obviously going to come into it, and you do. This one not so much, but I've thought back to previous films that I've done, like something for Angela's Ashes, for instance, and. I think I don't know if I'd have played the part any differently, but it would have been a more difficult shoot, I think, for me to, because of course in Angela's Ashes you're burying children for the first 20 minutes in that film, these tiny little coffins and all of that. It's very, very upsetting. It was even at the time, but since my own kids have come around, I think I'd be wasted if I had to do that now.
Finally, I couldn't leave without asking about a rumour that's been circulating that the much-in-demand actor is also the hot favourite to play the next Doctor Who.
Now, I don't know if you know that you're the bookie's favourite to take over from David Tennant when and if he decides to go. Have you heard this rumour, and can you confirm, deny, or just say, I'm a fan of the show?
Thanks for that last bit I have heard about it. It's completely beyond me. I don't know where it sprung from, but you know, as far as I know, there is a guy called David Tennant who's doing a very good job in the part, and I think we'll just leave it as that.
Would you, if you were offered it, would you be up for taking the part on, or?
I don't know. I mean, you look at everything on its merits, but it's not something that's kind of in my radar.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you, and love the film, and we look forward to your next thing, whatever you do.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Cheers,
Nice
man.
to talk to you.